You're listening to Moviesucktastic.
Sounds like some bad movie.
All right. So, how do you want to start talking about VHS? I mean, it's 6 segments if you count the group of whatever you want to call them, morons, that basically they go around, sneak up on people in low like a parking deck. They actually show that they grab a girl, they flash her breast on the camera so that then they could then sell that tape in the underground market for money.
Right, and the film plays a little loose with the time period, but I kind of feel that at least with the group that the film bases on, because it's like your typical anthology film. There's a series of vignettes in the film, and then there's a major story intertwining them all, like classic 70s Tales from the Crypt style. And the basic story is these hooligans run around filming themselves, but you get the feeling that instead of like doing YouTube stuff or doing online stuff, they're actually filming on VHS and feeding into that kind of like underground bootleg market back from before the internet.
Yeah.
When you actually like traded VHS tapes and sold VHS tapes of bootleg stuff, and I remember getting stuff like that. Not the kind of stuff these guys are filming, but that kind of homemade video thing that would hit the underground. So, and they're like you said, they're filming themselves, grabbing girls and pulling their shirts up and vandalizing homes and stuff. And one of them gets a job that they have to break into this house and steal a VHS tape.
Yeah, a specific one. They said the third party, who is nameless, told them that they know when they saw the tape that that's the one that they needed to grab. But of course, they don't know which one it is, so they start playing a lot of these other tapes. There's hundreds, right? So they just grab a whole bunch, they start playing some of them, and then that's how the movie ensues. They start watching them, and then what happens is they pop in a tape, and then we get to watch what they're watching. And
I love the concept too, because it's really like
it's like a creep show, to be honest.
Yeah, I mean, Creep Show's another way to put it. Creep Show was a take on that kind of theme too, from the old Tales from the Crypt.
Well, Tales from the Crypt, Tales from the Dark Side.
I don't mean when I say Tales from the Crypt, I don't mean the TV show. I mean the movie.
Sure.
Not.
I get it. Yeah.
70s. Got you. Okay, just clarifying. But I mean, knowing people and being one of the people that did collect VHS tapes back then, this kind of situation, at least as far as like having a collection of just like fucked up videos shot by real people, is not only possible but is probable. And it's almost like
some real sick people just recording sick shit that they do that they may not trade, but they just keep. But you know what I mean?
Well, the whole idea of this like satanic video collection of just really messed up like found footage, and so they use that.
We'll take the scene in Henry,
which they have to play off of.
Yeah. Exactly. I'm sorry. Go ahead.
No, nothing. I was just kind of following what you're saying. We have Portrait of Henry. I actually thought of that too, because they have that scene where they're watching themselves do it, and that was that scene.
And they're rewinding it slow mo.
Yeah, I remember when you're rewinding it. Henry turns to Otis and says, "What are you doing?" He says, "I want to see it again."
I want to see it again.
I mean, there's a great, technically a kind of a found footage. Well, that's them filming their own crimes, which is a whole different genre.
Right.
But I mean, so the concept's kind of cool, and the fact that they dial it back to VHS tapes, which doesn't hold through the entire anthology. They kind of play it loose with that because after a while, this could get kind of annoying.
Right.
But I thought overall it was a good film because.
Gotta be honest, I enjoyed it.
Yeah, I mean, I was eager to see it.
I definitely was. And I will say this. Do you want to talk about each part just a little bit?
A little bit. And I don't want to give
Okay.
away too much.
Well, okay. I guess the way we can do it is where I prefaced with what they do. They broke into the house, okay?
Right.
And they start watching tapes, which
Mm-hmm.
then moves into a segment where the two idiot friends give their one idiot friend a pair of glasses that are a video camera. You know?
Right.
Back then, that was a big deal, I guess. It was wireless,
Well, again,
had batteries
again,
in it. That's all it did.
But again, it plays fast and loose with the time frame. Most of these vignettes actually take place modern day or close to it. So that could have been something
10,
currently
15 years ago. I mean, 10,
Even
15
5.
years.
Even five. I'm saying they don't really hold it rigid to there's a webcam one. So even though we have that kind of VHS thing going on,
True.
they don't really hold firmly to that because it'd be kind of, we're not making Zodiac the movie here. We don't have to do, adhere to 70s anything. But so they put the camera glasses on the guy. Say, okay, you're going to get laid and you're going to film it for us. And
and it's going to be awesome.
That goes very wrong.
And, we won't give anything away, but it obviously doesn't turn out well.
Does not go well.
Does not turn out well.
And there's really a constant theme through most of these where you realize through most of them that they purposely at the start go, okay, you don't like these people, neither do we.
Right, yeah. They're not. None of them are likable in the least. Just about none of them.
Almost. So there's no love lost when we get to the end.
Yeah.
Now I like that one, even though it's
I think I
predictable.
like that one. I think I might have liked that one the most.
Second most. My second favorite. Second favorite? I think so. Yeah. I mean, again, and only because
you know what I liked the.
Well, don't get ahead of yourself.
The second honeymoon, which after this goes right into the second honeymoon.
Now the second honeymoon.
That is the one where the husband and wife, they go out like into it looks like the Midwest, where they just.
You mean the Ty West one?
That's Ty West?
That was the Ty West one. Double check me on that, but that was Ty West.
Okay. I actually like that one the most, I think.
Really? Really?
Maybe because of the way it ended. I don't know.
Double check me on that. I'm pretty sure Ty West did that one.
And I'm pretty sure how that one ends. I guess I can't say it because it would give something away, huh?
Can't say it. You can't give it away. Even though it's a Ty West one.
Yeah, I'll talk to you about it when we're done with the show.
Oh, double check me. No, double check me on that right now. Ty West does that one. I'm almost positive. Yeah.
You know what? On IMDb, they don't show during the credits of the film. They show who directed what.
Yeah, I remember that. And
you know what? I think you're right. I think Ty West did Second Honeymoon.
I looked it up. You know why? Because like everything else Ty West does, it's a long, boring segment where nothing happens except for little bursts of surprises that essentially weren't worth the wait. I did not like that one at all. I thought it was a waste of time.
Really?
And then the big...
Nah, I thought it was better than that. And it's the only thing I've ever seen Ty West do. I know you've had this Ty West hate fest this week.
Yes, I've had a Ty West hate fest this week, definitely. And we'll go into that.
But no, it's the only thing I've ever seen him do. So
it was nothing. It's like everything else Ty West does. It's a long, literal, and this is what I said with Blair Witch. People complained about that. I disagree. This literally Ty West. Literally, nothing happens. Nothing's of interest is happening. Everything's boring and dull. Ah! And then we're gonna end it. That's it.
that's
all
what he does. Well,
that's
you know what? Then I think the way it works for me is that for me just works in small portions.
It's the most tolerable. Yeah.
Yeah, that segment, it's only 15 or 20 minutes long at best. So for me, it's like I'm watching it and I'm like, okay, this is kind of cool. Nothing's happening, but you're getting fed some information, like when the money goes missing and, he's like, well, what'd you do with the money? And she's like, well, what are you talking about? He goes, well, I had money. Now I don't have money. And she's like...
you hear how interesting that conversation is? It's not. There's nothing in this.
Well, I thought it was funny because he said, "What'd you buy?" And it's like, "I didn't buy anything." It was, "You treat yourself. We've done that before." And then obviously that works its way into what happens.
It doesn't work its way into anything. It's
sure it does.
It does not.
See, it doesn't. We can't even talk about it because we're going to give shit away.
I mean, maybe I'm harsher on it because I had already sat through the House of the Devil and the Innkeepers before getting to this. So by this point, I was like, "Oh, this is the Ty West one, isn't it?" And I can tell. Oh,
yeah, I didn't have a problem with it. It's the only thing I've seen by him, and like I said, 15, 20 minutes, small portions. I thought it worked fine.
Just 5 minutes to the guy. It's a strange girl to ask us for a ride. I don't know. I'm kind of it bothered me a bit. 5 minutes of this. 5 really? 5 minutes? Yeah. I don't know.
Hey, well, you know what? And again, you can't talk about it, but I'll talk to you about it after the show.
And the one flaw with found footage film that a lot of people have, this is the big problem with Paranormal Activity, especially Part 3, because some of it was quite creepy. You hit those points when you're like, "Why are you filming this? Why are we watching you? Why is she filming him? Ask her, where'd you get the money, or where'd you do my money? Why are we watching this? Why are you filming him drive the car?" Now a lot of these
3 was
pieces,
actually creepy.
Creepy in the sense that the father is he's like the father figure. No, I'm sorry, 2. I meant 2. Sorry, I apologize.
Fine,
I meant 2. What parts in 2 where the father is like he married the mother, so the oldest daughter is like it's like a stepdaughter or daughter from his marriage. I forget. It was the daughter from another marriage. But there's like scenes where
gotcha.
But he goes in her bedroom. He's filming her. And I was like, "Want to see the night scope?" Click. He says like, "Dad," I said, why are you filming your 16, 18-year-old daughter in the dark? What is?
So that kind of creepy. Not like I'll watch it and hear something go bump because my house is settling. Be like, "What the fuck was that?"
Creepy as in what kind of father does like a Paris Hilton video of their daughter?
Well, he's not the real father, right?
I forget. He's
a stepfather?
I think he's the stepfather, but I'm not sure.
There you go. Real father? Creepy. Stepfather? Creepy, but not as much.
I think it was the real father, though. I'm iffy on it. I forget.
That's way creepy if it's the real father. All right.
Ty West sucks. That's the point. Then thankfully, the Ty West part ends eventually. And we get into the third one. The third one was the camping one, or
it was the camping one. Yeah,
I like that.
That was
a great
Tuesday the 17th, I think it was called.
Yeah, Tuesday exactly. And they played on the whole. They played on just the digital error, like glitching that you'd get in a VHS tape recording, and that I thought that was the only real appeal to that was that.
Yeah, I thought a lot of the dialogue in that, just no one says that.
No, no. But and obviously they're playing off of those campy movies, and the violence was obviously
right. Yeah, that's exactly what it was.
Now,
No, I was just gonna say, and the villain in that segment is the most unbelievable, I think, in the entire film, as far as any of that goes.
It's supposed to be kind of supernatural, I thought. That's kind of why I liked it.
Well, I didn't hate it. I just thought it was.
They weren't making these
credible.
Well, credible in what? That could actually happen?
Well, because some guy is, sitting in some house where there's a dead dude sitting in a chair, and he's popping in tape after tape, and it's supposed to be like, shit, what did I find here? You know what I mean? It's supposed to feel like, wow, you could potentially find this tape and watch it, and there'd be something creepy or crazy on it.
I'm not getting this conversation with you, am I? On which ones are more realistic?
No.
Okay. Because we glossed over the ending of the first one. If you thought that was more plausible.
No. I think this is less plausible.
Don't split hairs here. But I enjoyed that one because it played with the format. And because what else are you going to do? So it took the theme. But I must be getting old because like in a couple of these, like that one especially at the end when when you've got like the knife slicing open the stomach and they're pulling out intestines and livers and stuff.
Yeah.
I mean, I grew up hardcore horror films, and I'm watching this, and I found myself thinking to myself, was that really necessary? Did we really need that? I was like, what am I talking about? Horror film.
The reason why they're getting more graphic is because it's been done. Everything has been done, except for the ultra realistic shit. You know what I mean?
That wasn't that realistic, though. I mean,
it kind of was. I mean, in the second honeymoon one, that reminded me back in the day of that one. You know what I mean? That kind of reminded me of that, where I'm like, I'm just scouring the internet on what was it? It was consumptionjunction.com.
I thought on a different one, but yeah, you had to bring that up. Thank you for bringing back flashbacks of horror memories.
Yeah, so that kind of reminded me of that. It might even have been an homage to it. I have no idea.
I don't think every stab in the throat is an homage to that one video. How many
Why are you
people
giving it away? Don't give it away.
Oh, did I say that out loud?
You did.
I don't care. It's a Ty West one. Just fast forward past that piece of shit.
So after that one, it then moves into what was the next one?
That was the webcam one.
It was the webcam one, which it's kind of creepy when you get to the reveal, but the whole time where she's like, "Man, I got this bump in my arm," not one mention of seeing a doctor.
Well, he was a doctor. That's why I'll see it.
Yeah, I'll be there in a week or two. I'll look at it. It's like, well, maybe you should go see someone now.
It was inventive, and it was a breakaway from the VHS thing and the whole like cam over the shoulder thing or the shaky cam thing. So it was a nice. You needed something like that somewhere.
I didn't hate it.
Yeah, no, I agree. I have to say though, as far as like the surprise at the end, the only thing for me. The entire thing is the big picture of the girl and then the little picture on the side of the guy, much like I am right now. Yeah. And I'm watching it, and all I'm thinking is, at some point, this is going to cross. I mean, you don't do this format without playing with it. And so it's obvious when it happens at the end. It's like, yeah, I saw that coming. Not necessarily the explanation of what was happening, but just the gimmick how they reveal it. I was like, yeah, okay. I mean, you had to do something with that. You can't just keep us framed in like this the entire time.
Right.
That was probably the weakest one, just as far as overall pulling it off.
I agree. I would think the second most weakest one is how the segment that ends the movie, just because that's been done. You thought that was the best one?
My favorite one. That was my favorite. Yes, that was. I have to admit it. That was my favorite. I was like, thank God we ended on this note because I'm having fun now. I mean,
and again, I did not like it. It was just more or less, okay, what are we doing? Urban Legends? I mean, I guess that's what it was.
We're talking about the last one, right?
The very last one. Right. With the house and all that on Halloween.
The Halloween guys, yeah.
And that one actually had a time stamp on it. It was 1998. Halloween, 1998.
That's the name of the episode.
It was 10/31/98. Yep.
Right. Now, I mean, that was a great one because you're just following these four guys that are trying to find a party at Halloween, and you already know what's happening, and then it's the one that takes it and says, okay, we're doing camcorder, we're doing low tech shaky cam stuff. Doesn't mean we can't throw some special effects in.
Well, yeah, they totally did that.
And I hate the fact I feel like I'm whoring out a little bit too. Like, yeah, the best one's the one with the big CGI effects in it. But it was just also kind of fun because it was less of this. Again, each one of these had the kind of like, meh, patter, meh, what'd you do with my money? Oh, let's go do this. All this kind of like incessant chatter among it. And with these guys, at least there was cohesion with these guys at a certain point where it's like, we gotta do something. Yeah. And it wasn't bitching and whining.
Yeah, they were out the door.
They were almost that. Dude. And
no, they had the door open. They were gone. They were gone.
It could have. I never mention it right now. That movie, The Collector. Have you watched it yet?
No.
I'm going to lend you my copy. You have to see it, and then you have to watch the outtake that they call the alternate ending.
Oh, really? Okay.
It is the best horror film alternate ending ever, and I can't even begin to ruin it for you. But you have to watch the whole movie, which is actually pretty good. I enjoyed it. Nice, good, fun film. But then you have to watch the alternate ending, and it is fucking hilarious. Best alternate ending ever.
And the actual storyline of the guys that actually break into the house, that storyline ends before the last segment ends. It's the scene right before they go into the last video. So they actually end the storyline for the guys that break into the house right before the last segment with the Halloween one.
Really?
Yeah.
I didn't like the ending to the wraparound segment either. I thought it should have had something a bit more final.
You mean the guys that broke into the house?
Yeah, the wraparound. The the book.
Yeah, I agree. Again, didn't hate it, but you're right. It could have been a little bit more. Could have been done.
At the very least, at the end of the credits afterwards, I wanted one more shot of the dead guy in the chair. You owe me
That would have been
that
great.
much.
That
Yeah,
would have
again.
been awesome. And you know what? That's the type of thing that they'll get feedback for if it does go theatrical, and they do have any like Q&A or fill out this form. Tell us what you think.
Mm-hmm.
How much you want to bet that if that gets across, that gets put in the end at the credits? I wouldn't be surprised one bit.
Whatever. But I mean, it was a fun film, and it was definitely one of the better. I'd say one of the better horror films I've seen in a while.
I think so. Sure.
Just
Genuinely
because
creepy in a lot of spots. You know.
Just because getting a bunch of different directors and making them adhere to this kind of theme really gets creative juices flowing. And really, with the exception of Ty West, really has some interesting results.
You really fucking hate Ty West.
Dude, it's fucking insane how overrated this guy is. I can't even get it. Well, I'm going to get into it, so there's that. But I mean, VHS, great movie. If you get a chance to see it, go see it. However, it is being shown and released. What's going on with this?
Right now, it's video on demand. And according to the IMDb, there is not a release date for the United States other than film festivals.
I could have sworn they were going to try to do a release.
Okay. It's going to have a... Okay, fine. Here it is. It is a limited release on October 5th in the United States.
Yeah.
So I would imagine, depending on how well it does in that limited, kind of like Paranormal Activity, they'll just continually add theaters. Because that's what happened with Paranormal Activity. Went limited, did huge money its opening weekend on, we'll say 200 screens. And then it was like, wow, we need to add more. And then by the end of its run, it was... Not the end, but at the height of its run, it was over a couple thousand screens, making 20, 30 million a weekend. Yeah. So, yeah, I think that may happen with this, but the video on demand might, in my opinion, kill it a little bit.
Again, I think it's a different audience, and they know that otherwise they wouldn't be doing that.
Yeah, so
you know what I mean?
October 5th. They're not obviously trying to compete with Paranormal Activity, because we all know how that's going to go.
I think if they play it right, they'll be around as an alternative.
Oh, absolutely. They're coming out
at the very least, they'll be in the theater as a found footage film, while Paranormal Activity is soaking the media with advertising. So people will be thinking found footage film, but we can't see that yet. Let's see this because I'm dying to see that. See, that's thinking. Let them advertise for you.
I agree. I think it'll do well enough in its limited release.